Namaskar, welcome to Express News. I'm Mark Lynn. First, the national news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President of Mongolia, Kurel Sok on Tuesday witnessed the exchange of MOUs between India and Mongolia, boosting cooperation, aligning with India's Act East policy and Mongolia's third neighbor diplomacy. Addressing a joint press conference, Prime Minister Modi said that both countries support a free, open, inclusive and rules-based Indo-Pacific. We also work together to empower the voices of the Global South, he said. Prime Minister Modi and the President of Mongolia also released a commemorative stamp to mark 70 years of diplomatic relations between India and Mongolia. Prime Minister Modi warmly received President Kurel Sok at the Hyderabad House ahead of the discussions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with the Mongolian President Kurel Sok at the Hyderabad House, highlighting the 70-year India-Mongolia strategic partnership. Both sides, India and Mongolia, reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations, the discussions focused on defense, trade, energy, mining, cybersecurity, and cultural ties. Prime Minister Modi, along with the President of Mongolia, Kurel Sok they jointly planted a sapling at Hyderabad House in honor of the President's mother under PM Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam initiative and the President's 1 billion trees campaign. Earlier this morning, Mongolia's President Kurel Sok paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. Delivering India's statement on promotion and protection of rights of children, the BJP leader Nishikant Dubey on Monday slammed Pakistan for violating the agenda of the UN's Children and Armed Conflict by carrying out attacks in Afghanistan and India, targeting schools and students. Addressing the conference of heads of United Nations troop contributing countries in New Delhi, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reaffirmed India's commitment to a rules-based international order, highlighting the importance of regional security and cooperation. On the occasion, Rajnath Singh asserted that India has stood firm with the United Nations in its mission to maintain international peace and security. The Indian Army is hosting the Conference of Heads of the United Nations Troop Contributing Countries in New Delhi. The three-day conference brings together senior military leaders from 32 countries that contribute troops to UN peacekeeping missions. The Chief of the Indian Army, General Upendra Dwivedi, welcomed the participants and reflected on India's deep-rooted legacy in UN peacekeeping. On the sidelines of the UNTCC 2025, the Chief of Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, met his French counterpart, General Pierre Schil, on Monday. The two chiefs, they reaffirmed the robust India-French strategic partnership. The fourth edition of the India-Australia joint military exercise, Austra-Hind, commenced at Urban Barracks in Australia's Perth on Monday. The 14-day exercise aims to enhance interoperability, joint planning and execution capabilities of both armies in diverse operational environments. Google will invest $15 billion over the next 5 years to set up data centers capacity for an artificial intelligence hub in India's Andhra Pradesh. The same was announced at the Bharat AI Shakti Forum, attended by the Union Minister for Railways and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav, the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, and the Google Cloud CEO, Thomas Kurian. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav hailed the decision of Google to invest in India. He said that the digital infrastructure will go a long way in meeting the goals of India's AI mission. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the move and he said that it aligns with India's vision to build a Viksit Bharat. He added that it will be a powerful force in democratizing technology. In a post on X, the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, announced that he spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and shared the US tech giant's plans for its first ever AI hub in Andhra Pradesh's Visakhapatnam. Home Minister Amit Shah attended the 41st Raising Day of the National Security Guard in Gurugram on Tuesday. Addressing that event, the Home Minister said that under Prime Minister's leadership, India has adopted a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism. The business news now. The Indian equity indices, they ended lower with the Nifty below 25,200 on Tuesday. The Nifty 50 closed at 25,145.50 points, 81.85 points lower. At close, the Sensex was down 297 points at 82,029.98 on Tuesday. The Indian rupee ended lower at 88.79 per dollar on Tuesday. Gold futures maturing on December 5, they were priced at 1,25,640 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for December 5 maturity stood at 1,58,100 rupees per kg on the MCX. India's wholesale price index-based inflation eases to 0.13% in September on a year-on-year basis, down from 0.52% in August, according to the data released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva, hailed India as a major engine of global growth, citing its rising economic momentum ahead of the 2025 IMF World Bank annual meetings. India's policy think tank, Niti Aayog, launched a report titled India's Blue Economy Strategy for Harnessing Deep Sea and Offshore Fisheries. It aims to enhance governance and support coastal communities. Brent crude oil futures fell to $62.06 per barrel on Tuesday amid US-China trade tensions. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory announced plans to lay off nearly 550 employees as part of a major restructuring effort that began in July. The cuts will affect technical, business and support roles. Now news with an international focus. India welcomes the signing of the landmark peace agreement between Israel and Hamas. The Ministry of External Affairs said that India hopes that this will lead to lasting peace in the region, which India will always support. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Kirti Vardhan Singh, attended the Gaza Peace Summit at Sharm el-Sheikh, co-hosted by the US President Donald Trump and the Egyptian President el-Sisi. Donald Trump hailed his friendship with India, and he also praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi, calling him a very good friend as he addressed the world leaders at a summit in Egypt. The former US President Joe Biden commended President Donald Trump for securing a ceasefire deal in Gaza and said that his administration worked relentlessly to bring hostages home and end the conflict. The European Council President Antonio Costa stressed that European leaders attending the peace summit were united in their support for a plan aimed at ending the war in Gaza and paving the way towards a two-state solution. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed Monday's Gaza Peace Summit in Egypt as a decisive milestone, but said that many steps lay ahead to achieving a lasting peace in the region. The British Prime Minister, he said that his country is ready to help monitor the ceasefire in Gaza and to decommission the weaponry and capabilities of Hamas in the enclave. Around 30,000 people in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, were without power on Monday after Russian forces struck energy infrastructure with guided bombs, according to local officials. During a press conference with the EU's top diplomat, Kaja Kallas, Ukraine's President Zelensky said on Monday that he would meet US President Trump in Washington on Friday. Trump on Monday reiterated his belief that Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan could play a pivotal role in ending the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The United States and China on Tuesday began charging additional port fees on ocean shipping firms, making the high seas a key front now in their trade war between the two largest economies. New tariffs imposed by Donald Trump on imported wood, furniture and kitchen cabinets will come into effect on Tuesday, with a 10% tariff on imports of softwood lumber and 25% on certain upholstered furniture and kitchen cabinets. The U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on Monday that plans for the United States President Donald Trump to meet his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping in South Korea in late October remain intact. India's Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, participated in the pre-COP30 ministerial roundtable in Brasilia on Monday. The minister acknowledged the successful conclusion of the first GST and stated that the GST functions as a driving force of the agreement. On the sidelines, Bhupendra Yadav met with Wopke Hoekstra, the EU Commissioner of Climate Action, and both discussed ways to advance India-EU climate partnerships and enhance energy security. Delegates from 67 countries convened in Brazil's capital on Monday for the opening of the pre-COP30, a key preparatory meeting ahead of the United Nations Climate Summit. The French Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, will present a draft 2026 budget in Parliament before Tuesday's constitutional deadline that would aim to cut costs by 31 billion euros through a mix of spending cuts and increased revenue. In an address to his nation, Madagascar's President André Rajoelina on Monday said that he had relocated to a safe location to protect his life after weeks of youth-led protests demanding his resignation. The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Corina Machado said that Venezuelans, the president there, Nicolas Maduro's time is up, and Maduro currently has the opportunity to move towards a peaceful transition. Venezuela's government said it had closed its embassies in Norway and Australia and will open new ones in Burkina Faso and Zimbabwe as part of the strategic reassignment of resources. We're heading for a short break here on Express News. Stay with us.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn. Let's resume. Now, news related to the weather and cleanup efforts continued in Mexico's Poza Rica after devastating floods ravaged the city last week. Torrential rains killed at least 64 people and left streets buried in mud and debris. Mexico's local radio serves as a lifeline for stranded communities as the Mexican town San Bartolo struggles to survive with roads blocked by landslides preventing authorities from coming to their aid. A powerful nor'easter is battering New Jersey, bringing heavy rain, strong winds and also coastal flooding to areas including Long Beach Island and Barnegat Bay. New Jersey's National Weather Service has warned that the storm would continue on Tuesday with threats of high surf, dangerous rip currents and gusty winds along the east coast. After severe storms and flooding in Vietnam's Tuan Quang province, residents are leading recovery efforts. Volunteers have set up free repair services to help households fix damaged houses, also electronics and vehicles. Spain faced one of its most destructive wildfire seasons on record this summer, with over 1 million hectares burned across the European Union by late August. Intense heat waves fueled fast-moving fires that destroyed wildlife and livelihoods. Scientists warn that climate change combined with additional land and accumulated dry vegetation are fueling wildfire risks, making such disasters increasingly likely in Spain. The Yellow River, China's second longest river, has experienced its first flood of 2025 after heavy rainfall in its middle and lower reaches. Authorities warn of a severe flood control situation in China, with peak flows possibly reaching 6,000 cubic meters per second by Wednesday. A level 4 flood response has been activated and low-lying areas are under strict safety measures. The former Helio Marine Institute of Lebanon has begun to be demolished after years of encroaching maritime erosion. Now the land has now become a stark reminder of France's retreating Atlantic coastline. In Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district, farmers are turning their small plots into hubs of organic cultivation. By growing pure, chemical-free vegetables, they're actually ensuring healthy produce as well as promoting sustainable farming in the region. Thousands of devotees gathered at Radha Kund in Govardhan in Mathura to mark Ahoy Ashtami. The sacred dip is believed to bless children with good health and well-being. In Bhopal, a couple has created a Satvik Deepavali kit made from cow dung, featuring eco-friendly Lakshmi footprints, wall hangings and swastik symbols for a sustainable Diwali. Ayodhya is set to shine with over 25 lakh lamps lighting up the Saryu River for Deep Utsav on October 19. At Lord Ram's temple, wax lamps also will be used instead of mustard oil to protect the stone flooring. Ahead of Diwali markets in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj, they are bustling with shoppers exploring colorful decorative lights and garlands, and the buyers also comparing the prices. They're enjoying the festive vibe and preparations are picking up pace. Abu Dhabi's Babs Mandir, it's a Hindu mandir there. The Middle East's first traditional stone temple, in fact, will host Diwali celebrations from October 18, with the main events on October 20. In Nepal's Podwar village, it's turning into age-old sheep and yak herding into a cultural attraction, because along the scenic Kopra trekking route now, tourists can experience authentic mountain life and Nepali hospitality, promoting both culture and sustainable tourism. London's Trafalgar Square lit up as thousands gathered to celebrate Diwali. The festival featured dance, music, food and cultural performances showcasing Hindu, Sikh and Jain traditions, spreading joy and community spirit across the UK capital. China's Hengshui Lake in Hebei has achieved a breakthrough by establishing the world's first stable, naturally breeding population of the endangered Beir pochard duck. China's Nanji Wetland Reserve in Nanchang welcomes over 10,000 migratory birds, including white-fronted geese and the green-winged teals. Improved conditions after the 2020 fishing ban have boosted the seasonal influx along the East Asian Australasian Flyway. In Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City, Binh My commune is turning into a rural tourism hotspot. Visitors can harvest cassava taste local delicacies and enjoy a peaceful, eco-friendly escape just minutes from the city center. The Museum of Traditional Vietnamese Medicine in Ho Chi Minh City preserves centuries-old healing practices. Visitors, especially youth, can explore recreated herbal shops and antique artifacts, experiencing Vietnam's rich medical heritage firsthand. In Guinea's Conakry, an acrobatic arts center trains disadvantaged youth in circus arts, providing a creative environment that helps steer them away from crime and gives them opportunities to perform globally. In Australia, researchers have applied AI technology similar to Google Maps to study lung cancer cells. This innovation helps identify patients who would benefit mostly and also from the costly immunotherapy drug Keytruda. After nearly 2 decades, Gustave Courbet, the iconic self-portrait of his, The Desperate Man, returns to Paris's Musée d'Orsay, and the haunting 1840s masterpiece, it arrives on a 5-year loan from Qatar Museums. Iconic films like Annie Hall and Something's Gotta Give of the late legendary American actress Diane Keaton are set to re-release after her demise on Saturday. British actress Naomi Watts was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Monday. The Mexican filmmaker Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein held its international premiere at the 69th London Film Festival on Monday. The Australian actress Mia Wasikowska is stepping behind the camera, and she's co-directing The Great White, an offbeat legal drama comedy. The trailer for Jen Leon's Stara Stumble was released on Monday. The series is set to premiere on November 7. British actor and comedian Rowan Atkinson is now all set to come up with a new festive comedy, Man vs. Baby series. It's set for release on December 11. Reality TV star Kylie Jenner has officially stepped into the music scene with American pop duo Terra Jr.'s new single, Fourth Strike, in which she showcases both her singing as well as rapping skills. Pop superstar Taylor Swift will release a concert film and a 6-part documentary series that chronicles her record-breaking Eras tour. This happens on December 12. The Indian music singer and composer Pritham is set to embark on a North American tour from October 16. A new song titled Poison Baby from the upcoming Indian film Thamma is out, and the song features actresses Malaika Arora and Rashmika Mandana. The sports news now. In India have sealed a decisive 7-wicket victory over the West Indies in the second test at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi, completing a dominant 2-0 series sweep on Tuesday. Kuldeep Yadav was adjudged the man of the match for his superb bowling, and Ravindra Jadeja was named the man of the series for his all-round performance. Shubman Gill led India, and the Shubman Gill-led Indian team now sit at the 3rd place on the World Test Championship table. India's head coach Gautam Gambhir heaped praise on Shubman Gill's leadership following the Test series victory. South Africa secured a thrilling 3-wicket win over Bangladesh in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup group stage. The South African skipper, Laura Woolward, admitted that the lack of contributions from the top order is not ideal, but the lower order chipping in with runs is a positive. Australia will miss the services of the leg spinner Adam Zampa and the wicketkeeper Josh Inglis in the first home ODI against India at Perth on Sunday. Matthew Kuhneman and Josh Phillip have been called in as replacements for the much-anticipated series. The three-match series between India and Australia will commence on October 19. Canada's men's national soccer team trained in New Jersey ahead of their international friendly against Colombia on Tuesday night. Fans erupted in celebration as Cape Verde made history on Monday by qualifying for the first ever FIFA World Cup. Cape Verde defeated Eswatini by 3-0 in their final match to top their Group D, finishing ahead of Cameroon. Ivory Coast will adopt an attacking approach in their crucial final World Cup qualifier against Kenya on Tuesday. Nigeria's Super Eagles and Benin's national football team intensified preparations ahead of their World Cup qualifier. Spain are hoping to continue their dominant start to the World Cup qualifying when they host Bulgaria in Valladolid's Jose Zorrilla Stadium on Tuesday. Well, that's all we have in the Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.